Jennifer here at Eureka Astrology and Healing, and we're on day 4 of our Moon Mindfulness Challenge. Aries, my favorite moon. Why? It's my moon. It's not to say that it's better than any other, but I know it better than any other. And it's been in Aries for about a day and a half. We are now in the first quarter. It's a first quarter moon. So it still has that energy of new. It's building towards picking up. It's not resolving, it's building. And so my feelings, thoughts, impressions of the last day and a half. Well, I think about this and I noticed after I made my Pisces new moon video, I started to have a little bit of a doubt or fear about some of the things that I'm doing, a little concern, especially around survival. And I looked back, okay, to say, where's the moon when this was kind of happening? And what was void of course? And if you're familiar with void of course, if you're not, it means that the moon was not making any aspects to any planets or the sun at the time for a few hours. In this case, sometimes it can be a few hours, it can be 7-8 hours, it can vary. And so when it's void of course, it kind of feels adrift and awash. And I kind of felt that a little bit, and there's a little bit of creeping in of a fear. And it's interesting because Aries actually doesn't deal with fear, but it deals with rising to the challenge. In against odds potentially, and it may even have to do with survival. It's rules, our survival instincts to make sure that we make it through. And I was kind of feeling that, and I was wondering, because if it was void of course and it was going towards Aries, that I was starting to feel a little bit of the Aries energy, but without any anchoring and going, what's next? And having the fear of like, what if I don't have the things I need? And really, it's not about what the things that I have, it's about what I have inside of me. Aries is about what you have and how you are going to tackle a problem or confront a problem. And sometimes it may be scary, but it's about rising to the challenge. When Aries does not get to rise to the challenge, it often can feel defeated and depressed. It's more about coming up to the challenge. And even if you fail, knowing that you were brave enough to go to the challenge despite the odds. And so that is an Aries moon for sure. And I was kind of already feeling that before it moved into it. I've noticed in the last day and a half, I've been quick to be a little bit more combative, not in a intense way, but just with some of my wording. And it's a little bit more Aries, very warrior-like. And I didn't mean that I was going to be, on the war path, but the wording definitely was that of a more kind of out there, a little less soft, like Pisces was. That's for certain. The other thing that I've noticed is, and I'm going to maybe start to track this as I'm going through these, is that I started to hear more sirens. I live in a small city. It's not a large city, but I do notice there's waves of where it's like there'll be days where I just hear siren after siren after siren. I live not too far from a major hospital, and then there'll be like weeks or days that you hear nothing, like none. And it's like, why do I hear 6 sirens in a day and then none for a week? And obviously right now COVID is going on and it is peaking as it is January 9th, and it's peaked, from the holidays, but I didn't notice it last week and it was already peaked. So I wonder, and I'm going to start to track this, are there more accidents with Aries new moons, Aries moons, not new moons, although that'd be interesting to hear it and listen to on an Aries new moon particularly, because it's double Aries energy. But Aries can have to do with accidents and incidents because it's ruled by Mars. So this moon is ruled by Mars. So it's more taking risks, taking action. And usually with more risks, there can become, more incidents of injury because you're taking more risks. You're being a little more brave. But, like I said, you can get hurt. It's a little impulsive sometimes. So, Aries new moon, be mindful of impulsiveness. It can be a great thing, but it can also cause some setbacks as well. The other thing as I'm creating these videos is I'm thinking more about the aspects of the day, the days that I'm working with to the moon, not all aspects. And again, as you know, astrology is dynamic and it's not just the moon that's affecting us right now. It's a great symphony, and I'm just picking one instrument out of the whole band, but it's still a great instrument and it's a very noticeable instrument. But what I was going to try and do is look at a little bit of the aspects. And so today the sun is square Venus in retrograde in Capricorn and the sun. So thinking about that a little bit is Aries moon, like we said, wants to go, wants to do, wants to conquer its fears and its worries and forge on, start new things. With Venus in retrograde, well, she's thinking about her values of stability and structure in Capricorn, and also the authorities around her and the authority within herself, or if you'd want, it can be neutral, the planet itself as far as gender. It just, Venus is about desire and bringing things together, but when she's pulling inward, she's like, what do I desire? What do I desire from leadership, the leadership around me? What do I desire in the structures around me as far as politics and the greater social structures, but also what do I desire in responsibility myself? And it depends on where your house is, where Capricorn falls, but she's really going inward instead of trying to be all lovey-dovey. She's might feel a little more cold and reserved and going, maybe I don't want this. And so right now, the moon in Aries is like, let's go, let's do this, let's go forward. And Venus is like, I'm going to pull back. I'm going to think about this for a little bit. So there's like a dynamic of let's move forward. And then the Venus is going, I think I have to think about things differently. I have to see what I desire before I go forward. And the sun being right there is shining a light on those desires and reassessing those desires. And Venus is going to be there for a little while in retrograde. And so with the sun on there, it's a real strong highlight. And the moon may feel a little frustrated. People maybe feel a little frustrated with the things they're trying to get done. And it's not just getting done. They're not getting done the way they want, especially because things are getting reassessed. And so it's a good time to reassess what you want to move forward and then have the confidence to move forward with those reassessments. But it's really not a good time really to start long-term things. It's more about assessing those long-term things, values, goals, foundations, so that you can move forward with things with some better aspects for sure, maybe when you actually get into Aries, but there's other times as well. And then the other thing is that the moon is trine Mars. So Mars is going to be the ruler of the moon right now because it's in Aries, and Mars is assigned to Aries. So there's kind of, again, that energy of like, let's go, let's do, let's travel, let's explore, let's, learn and educate. So maybe this is a great time to, instead of going and traveling, at least physically, you could travel, online, talk to people more, in a safe distance and broaden your horizons in a safe distance that way instead of getting on a plane. But also you can learn. This is a great time to get higher education. Like, I want to go forward. I want to go forward with that higher thinking, reassessing my beliefs. That's positive energy you can do. So, I'm definitely hunkering down with some information these last few days, although I love to learn, constant learner here, constant student, constant teacher, and so Gemini rising, and that just love to do it. So this is enhancing my energy, and hopefully other energies for people to learn and do it safely while we are amidst a pandemic. And other than that, like I said, it feels good to me. The Aries moon always feels good to me, and I've noticed with certain Aries moons I can be easily irritated and a lot more. I would say I call it getting hot really quick, really fast respond than others. But this one, not so much. And I really would like to attribute that to the Capricorn sun. I think that's grounding me. It's making sure that I kind of keep, both feet on the ground and think about what I'm saying before I maybe let my emotions and feelings get the best of me without assessing them. And then this is a little tip here for the Aries moon. Try to breathe, count to 10, because often with an Aries moon, you act before you even know what the feeling is. And I can speak from experience. It's just quick, it's fast, it's instinctual, and it's out. It's out like that. And sometimes people get hurt with words and phrases and actions because that Aries moon just doesn't have patience or time to think about it or talk about it. It's over, it's done. And if it's going to talk about it, it's usually sometimes hostile. So, and obviously everyone's chart is different and can be mitigated by things, but count to 10, take deep breaths, enjoy the challenges, and know that you have the strength and courage to go forward. And I'm inviting you again. I'm going to keep doing this. Join me. Take note of where the moon is. Check in with yourself. Is it affecting you? Are you affecting it? And just something to think about. And if you like my videos, keep following me, like me. And if you'd like to see my services, go to EurekaAstrologyandHealing.com. Ciao for now.